Hey there, Melaminah here. Welcome back to My Bikini Competition Journey. This is episode number 33, How I Stayed on Track During My Grief Retreat. So I wanted to pop in this week and let you know how everything went. I am so grateful that I took that time and went and spent that time on myself to just let go and heal and spend some time in reflection. It made a huge difference. I definitely feel like my cup is way more full than it has been in quite some time. So, definitely very grateful for spending that time on myself. So, I know that it can be really stressful when we need to travel and we still have fitness goals. So, I just wanted to give a rundown real quick of how I was able to do this grief retreat and still stay mostly on track. So I actually drove to where I was going, so that made it a lot easier. I was able to bring stuff with me that would, normally not be able to come with me if I was flying. So let me just give a quick rundown of how I went about this. So the very first thing that I did was I prioritized protein. Always, always, always. I always made sure that I ate enough protein every day. And whether that was me having to like jerry rig a meal together or whether it was me like eating out at a restaurant, didn't matter. I always made sure that I had a really good source of protein, which in most cases meant chicken because chicken has the highest protein, um, I guess the highest protein per like weight. So another thing I did, like I said, I was driving, so I brought stuff with me. I actually brought everything that I needed to make my protein shake every day. So I brought my entire thing of protein powder and my creatine. I put my creatine inside of there, and I had some coconut milk that I use, and I'm not eating bananas at the moment. So I put some coconut water in with the protein shake, and OMG, that made it taste amazing. And then I'm also doing fermented foods right now, so I added some dairy-free yogurt in there as well, and I brought all of that with me. Another thing I brought with me was my entire package or entire canister or bottle of all of my vitamins. So I just brought them all with me. That way I would just have everything that I needed. And I have like a little travel thing that has the different little doors in it so that you can carry that with you throughout the day. And I would just make sure that I had my vitamins with me on me at all times. So I did that. I also, before I left San Diego, I stopped at the grocery store. Actually, I didn't do this in San Diego, I did it in Yuma. Um, so, either way, though, it was on my trip before I actually had my first meal. I stopped at a grocery store and I bought some prepackaged, like really easy to eat things that I could eat in the car. So I bought some hard-boiled eggs that were already peeled, and I found some chicken that was cooked. It was grilled chicken strips in a bag, in a resealable bag. So that was really cool. The chicken was cold, but big deal, it was cooked, so it didn't really matter. And then I also bought a bowl, like a package of guacamole. I was looking for the individual sized ones, but they didn't have it. So I just bought like a bigger size thing of guacamole for my source of fat. And then a package of baby carrots and a package of snap peas that were already washed. So I didn't have to worry about like washing those or whatever. And then, so I ate that when I was on the road. That way I didn't have to stop at, fast food restaurants or at a full-on restaurant and run the risk of not being able to find anything other than like a salad with, chicken added or whatever, and then still not be able to have enough macros throughout the day. So I just bought those things and I ate them in the car, on the road, anytime I needed to eat a meal before I actually got to my destination. And then anytime I was eating out, I still prioritized protein, but then I kind of structured the meal just like I would structure if I was making the meal myself. So I concentrated on the three macros, prioritizing protein, and then right now I'm doing higher fat, lower carbs. So I prioritized a fat source second, and a healthy carb third. So that would be something like chicken, and maybe it was in like a salad. So it had, you know, not vegetable oil, extra virgin olive oil on it, or, and then for a healthy carb, maybe it was like a rice bowl or something. But I wouldn't do a full-on bowl because a lot of times they like load up way too much rice in there. So like just maybe like a side of rice instead. And then also sometimes it's a little bit more difficult if you're not having like a salad or something. Sometimes it's a little more difficult to have a healthy source of fat. So turkey has a higher fat content than chicken does, but is still like a really good higher on the protein, not quite as high as chicken. So sometimes you can do turkey, which is like a good mix of protein and fat kind of in the same source. And then beef, I would always do like very last because that's really high in fat and not exactly the best fat. Like you want a cleaner source of fat, like coconut oil or the extra virgin olive oil or like a nut butter or something rather than animal fat. So that was kind of how I structured my meals, especially when I was eating out. And then for macros, I am supposed to be tracking macros, but that's way hard when you're eating out because, you know, they put salt in like everything. Luckily I went to Sedona, and this is like a really health conscious like area. So a lot of the restaurants I ate at were really clean. They were like vegan or vegetarian or gluten-free or like all of the above. So it made it really easy to eat pretty clean actually. So I noticed I couldn't tell on the menu, but I could tell by taste that there wasn't a whole lot of sodium and stuff, and most everything was like cooked from scratch. So that made it like really easy to stay on target too. So when you're traveling, if you can find like restaurants that you know that are a little bit more health conscious, then great. If not, I mean, you can only do the best that you can, right? So yeah, so the other thing I wanted to make sure of was that I got enough fiber. So that was the other like micro that I paid more attention to, was the fiber. And then once I got to my destination, I went to the grocery store again and kind of fleshed out um, some more stuff. So I need to have fish every day. So I actually bought a can of sardines, which was like really high in protein. It was like 18 grams of protein for 3 ounces. Plus, it's a source of fish, so the fish oils. And it was in like a little can that came with extra virgin olive oil, and it had lemon in it also. So it was already like prepackaged, ready to go. I know that doesn't sound like the most appetizing thing, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And it checked a lot of boxes. It was really high in protein. It was a source of, you know, fish and the healthy fish oils. It was a healthy fat choice with the extra virgin olive oil. It was great. So I got that, and I got some almond butter, and I got the rice cakes. So that was like another healthy carb choice as well. And then let's see what else. So, oh yeah, I already said this already, but as a quick side note, my current plan is higher fat, lower carb. So I was really concentrating on getting enough healthy fats into my diet while I was away. And also, another side note, this helped to keep the cost of food down. Sedona is like really expensive on food, and even at the grocery store, it was like pretty expensive, but way cheaper than what it would be to eat out. So it was actually like a cost saving bonus as well when I would, you know, have to eat just because the way my day was scheduled, I would have to like eat something here at the room or on the go or whatever. it made it a lot easier and a lot cheaper as well. I didn't have to like go to a full on restaurant and like, go through the struggle of trying to get something and then pay extra and whatever. And it made it really easy when I was looking for like a smaller meal or a snack or something like that. Because, portion sizes in restaurants is usually outrageous. So there's that too. So it was really helpful in that area as well. And then let's see. Oh, definitely um, try to choose whole foods. So stay away from like protein bars and protein shakes. I know sometimes you can't help it, especially if you're like in the airport and you're just running from one plane to another. I know it's really difficult and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But when you have the choice, choose full on whole foods over protein bars and prepackaged protein shakes because they are often riddled with like sugars and other carbohydrate sources that you may really not want in your plan at that time. So before I hit the road again, I'm actually still here, but before I hit the road again, I'm gonna go to the grocery store again and stock up on a couple of things because I'm out of the eggs and I'm gonna be out of the chicken pretty soon, so I'm gonna try to get that again for the drive back. And then, let's see. Oh, yeah, this was the other thing. So I've been using MyFitnessPal as my nutrition tracker. And as best I can, I still tried to track everything. Obviously, the stuff that I purchased from the grocery stores was really easy. I could just log that into the app, like no problem. But, when you go out to eat, you have no idea, like you just kind of have to estimate. And I feel like after a while, once you're used to like making your meals and stuff on your own, you kind of get used to what like a serving, like what a cup of cooked rice looks like and how much like a thing of beans sort of looks like or whatever. So you can sort of start to get a decent estimate of what's going on your plate in a restaurant. And so I did the best I could to try to just estimate and keep everything on track as best I could. And then of course the exercise. So that was like the nutrition portion, and then there's the fitness and the lift portion as well. So one more note before I move on. I could have and almost did bring my kitchen scale with me, which would have been like super extra. But then I kind of realized, like, I mean, yes, I could have brought it and I could have weighed everything out and whatever, but there were still going to be times where I was going to be eating out at a restaurant and I was obviously not going to be using the kitchen scale there. So I thought, again, like I've gotten fairly good at being able to eyeball something and kind of get an idea of how much it is. So I just sort of went with that. Obviously not ideal. When you have the ability, you always want to weigh everything out, but I mean, we're talking about traveling here, so you got to do what you got to do. Okay, so moving on from the nutrition into the lifts. So I chose to stay at a place that had a gym on site, and it's actually a pretty good gym. They've got a wide range of dumbbell sizes, and they actually have some cable machines as well. And of course they have like some cardio machines, but I never use cardio machines. I usually do my cardio outside or, jumping jacks or whatever. But anyways, so my lifts this particular time have a lot of call for a lot of barbell stuff. So, excuse me, they don't have barbells, but again, they do have the dumbbells. So anytime it called for a barbell, I would go with the highest weight dumbbell that I could manage. And in some cases, I even swapped the barbell out for one of the cable machines. So that's how I managed that. And if the place that I ended up staying did not have a gym on site, I was fully prepared to go to a local gym and pay like the week-long whatever their weekly rate was, and gain access to a gym that way. So prior to coming on my trip, I did do like a quick search on local gyms in the area, but like I said, I ended up finding a place, staying at a place that had a gym on site. So that was really rad. And that saved me a little bit of money too, right? Because I would have had to pay like another $50 or $75 or whatever it was to access the gym during the week. But I got it included with my stay, so that was rad. They also had yoga on site a couple of times, so that was a free perk by staying at this location, so that was really nice. And then also, while I was here in Sedona, I did a lot of hiking, which was really nourishing, being out in nature and being able to find some quiet and some stillness. And so that was really great and really free and a really great source of cardio. So right now I'm doing steady state cardio, so that was really cool too. Um, and then, the app that I use for my lifts is called Trainerize. So Trainerize will allow you to make substitutions, and it'll give you like a big old list to choose from of what you could substitute for whatever it is that you're trying to substitute for. So that ends up being really useful too, and you can kind of like put everything together, like what do you have available, and then like what are they kind of recommending as a substitute or whatever. So that's it. That is how I navigated this trip, and it's been going really well. And again, I'm really grateful that I've had this opportunity to come and heal and spend some time on myself. And just a quick note that, if you or anyone you know is currently in the grief process, just be kind and gentle with yourself. Try to listen into what it is you need. If you need to speak to a counselor, definitely do that. There's no shame in having to speak to someone. And there are lots of things that you can do to tend to yourself. You don't have to come on a complete retreat, although if you need it and you have the time and the ability and the resources to make that happen, I highly, highly, highly recommend it and highly encourage it. But even some things that you can do at home, like definitely movement is really helpful for grief support. Even just getting outside for a walk, definitely outside, any time in nature is really good. Drink lots of water. And I would probably say, most importantly, give yourself permission to cry. If you're not comfortable doing that in front of somebody else, maybe, and you live with someone, maybe you can negotiate even a few hours of alone time in the bedroom to just ugly cry and get it out and scream into your pillow or whatever it is you need to do. I definitely encourage you to take care of yourself in that way too. So as always, thank you so much for following along my bikini competition journey. I really, really appreciate it, and I love having you here. Feel free to like this and share it with others if you found it interesting and useful. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you get notifications when new videos are dropped, which is usually every Friday for Fitness Friday. Questions, comments, concerns, or interpretive dances, feel free to leave those in the comments section below, or you can DM me on Instagram. I am at Melaminah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.